Very good. I'm gonna go find a place to sit.
Shabbat Achim Yam Yachad, Hine Matov Manayim, Shabbat Achim Yam Yachad. Shabbat Shalom. We'll begin the same way we always do, taking a moment of silent reflection, thinking about what this last week has been like, highs, lows, what you carry with you into Shabbat, into the next 24 hours, and what you'd like to leave behind. There's something positive that's happened in your life recently that you'd like to bring into this space and lift our energy with. We'd love to hear it. Joyce. A wonderful Hanukkah dinner last Friday. Thank you. Yes. U.S., wonderful having grandchildren, child from Chicago. Phyllis. Wow, granddaughter graduated from Emory as a physician assistant. Yesterday? Great, wonderful. Go ahead, Anne.
I love the dinner as well. That was the first time I think I've ever seen my son come into a temple in maybe 30 years.
The first time in 30 years, and it was to that. That's great.
And my grandson came as well. My 14-year-old grandson told me that he's taking advanced college trigonometry.
Wow, very impressive. Great. That's wonderful. What else? Michael? Wait, what's it? Give me a microphone.
I started a new job on Wednesday out of a clear blue sky, a job I thought I hadn't gotten. My very first day, they give me a present just for coming in.
That's awesome. I was going to repeat it to the mic for...
I had a 3-hour shift. We spent 2 of them with her, them taking me to lunch.
That's awesome.
The employer blessed me.
I'm going to say that into the microphone for our online community. She got a job she wasn't sure she'd get, and they gave her a gift and spent the first 3, it was a 3-hour shift, and 2 of them were spent at lunch. So, brand new job. That's awesome. Sherry, you had something you wanted to share?
Yeah, I had my Beit Din and Mikvah yesterday.
Beit Din and Mikvah yesterday. Yes. Anyone else want to share that? Same thing? Julie also experienced that, and we will be welcoming them officially into the Jewish community tonight. Who else? I saw a hand. Oh, Noel, go ahead.
battling over me for a long-term sub position.
That's great. It's nice to have
So far,
choices.
so good.
He's had two schools battling for him as a long-term sub, so he has choice.
And
And
I got to see my favorite singer-songwriter for free.
and he got to see his favorite singer-songwriter for free at a Just Love event on Sunday. Yes, Patty?
And my two oldest sons, 50 and 52, are coming to visit me for the first time from Chicago.
Wonderful. So her two oldest sons who are coming to visit her from Chicago for the first time. Anything else? Go ahead. Look at that proud hand from Laura. What colleges? Awesome, Fletcher. That's so cool. Anything else? All right, so, Jan, yeah.
Yeah, one of the other choirs that I sing in,
Yes,
we sang at Cedar Village.
yes,
And Hanukkah was officially over because we were there Monday night. But we decided to go ahead and sing another Hanukkah song.
Yes.
And have a ninth night of Hanukkah.
ninth night of Hanukkah.
Yeah,
It's
and
a thing,
just keep
yeah.
spreading the love.
Just keep spreading. That's great. That's to bring your choir to Cedar
Well,
Village.
we get scheduled for that day.
That's
It
wonderful.
was the ninth night of Hanukkah.
That's great. I love it. So I'm going to sort of close this portion because we'll actually have to pray at some point. But Gunnar, my boy, Gunnar is having a very so we will be naming him, giving his proper Hebrew name, and this is inspired by his teacher Jane, who's in the back, who said, "Gunnar, do you have a Hebrew name?" And he didn't, and so he went on this journey, and we're going to give him a special name in the beginning of the service, and then we're going to have two naming for Julie and so Sherry. So it's a lot of naming. So we're just going to be like really happy all day today, which is going to be great. I know you're going to be sad there'll be no sermon because there's so much naming. So just take that in. Yes. Well, I figure you came to the sermon before. By those of you, thank you for the 27 of you who came tonight and the 20 of you who came yesterday to hear Jenny, me, Maxine, and my mom Nadine's experience in El Paso and the borderlands doing protests and witness and acts of service. So with all that, I want to welcome our online community that even though you're not part of this very happy lot tonight, we are with you in your living rooms, in your hospital rooms, in your nursing facilities, and just know that our hearts are with you, and we love you, and we're shining this way also. And we're blessed by our small but mighty choir today that Dr. Bailey will be living. So we will begin by lighting the candles. Marion is going to start. And for those of you who aren't used to this prayer book, this is a good moment as she's walking up. We're going to do our best to keep whatever we can on the PowerPoint. Micah's gotcha. But on page 2 and 3 is where we'll begin with the candle lighting. You'll see it's a good example of this prayer book. It's Hebrew and transliteration and translation on the even numbers, and then an alternative reading on the odd numbers. And so we flow back and forth as we go forward. And we're a singing group, so just sing. And if you don't know the words, just say la la la, and we gotcha.
Asher Kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Amen.
Hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. see the way to you, and let us say Amen. We continue with the reading together on page 8. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics, and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. We continue with Lachad Odi, welcoming Shabbat as if she were a bride. We're on page 20 and we're just going to do that first verse. Continue with Chad Kaddish on page 26. Amen.
Be it Roman, be it Naseh, be it Hadar, be it Halel, be it Halal, Shemedi Kudisha,
Rihu,
Elam Yechol Birchata Vashirata,
Tush Bechata V'Nechemata, Tamir Mi'alma, Amen. We rise on page 28. Seated as I welcome Rory and Gunnar and Sharon and Lewis. Why don't you come up close too? So Gunnar, I don't know if everyone can I just lift him up so the camera can see real quick? This is Gunnar. Do you want your dad to hold you? Yeah, okay. So, Gunnar.
What?
We're going to wrap you in a tully. This is mine, so you can feel it's nice and soft. And we're going to honor this family who was blessed by you as a sacred, most special surprise in the whole wide world. And then you became our most special surprise in the whole wide world. And we're so happy that you're ours. So that's what today is about, is giving you a special Jewish name. And all these people are now also your boobies. They're your grandma and your grandpas. They're your mommies too, your daddies, your sisters, your brothers. We're all part of you, and we all love you, right? Yes. So we're just going to do a short thing here. And I'm going to, here maybe, Louis, you can wrap Rory and Gunnar. We come together to welcome this child formally into the covenant of our father Abraham and our mother Sarah. God said, I will maintain my covenant between me and you and your offspring to come, as an everlasting covenant throughout the ages, to be God to you and your offspring to come. The Talit is an embracing symbol of the covenant between God and the Jewish people, and we are reminded of the mitzvot by the tzitzit on its corners. Today we envelop this beautiful son into the folds of the Talit as a symbol of his entry into our covenant with God and Klal Yisrael. Sweet Gunnar, you are a welcome member of the Jewish people, and today you become the newest link in the covenant of the people of Israel. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zocher habrit ba'atifa b'tzitzit. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who is mindful of the covenant through being wrapped inside a garment with tzitzit. Sharon, are you comfortable reading something? Okay.
We are thankful for the potential lights in our lives, for the gifts of love brought forth with this amazing child into our lives. May Gunnar know the value of community, the hope of tradition, and the wholeness that comes with good works. May he be blessed always so that he can reflect divine light everywhere they go.
Louis, do you want to read something? Yeah.
Every person born into the world brings something new and different, something that never existed before. It is the duty of every person to know and to consider that he is unique in his particular character and that there has never been someone like him in the world. Every single person is a new presence and is called upon to fulfill his particulars.
Thank you. So before you get your special name, does anyone here want to explain your name? Want me to do it, or you want to do it?
I'll let you.
Okay. So he's got a special name, and it's Totchan Yosef. And so that was the closest we could think to Gunnar, about sort of the Gunnar of this warrior nature, a protector, and also that Yosef, and it's perfect because we're in this portion right now is when Yosef, so one of our forefathers and part of our ancestry, is a gentle person who rises to power. And in this Torah portion, now it's going to be your Torah portion, is where he builds peace amongst his brothers, and he brings his father home. And that's certainly true in this case also. Something that a new tradition we've been doing, and this is, I think, the first time that Heidi's done this for this age child, but Heidi Glick, where I'm like scanning here. Oh, she just brought this. Oh, there she is. So Heidi's mother is an amazing human being and an incredible artist. And since her passing, Heidi has been following in many of the amazing footsteps of her mother. And one is that she creates beautiful art for our children. She makes a kippah for every new baby. And I was like, well, Gunnar's not a baby, but he needs the special gift that Heidi gives to our children. And I think this is perfect for this little man. So I'm going to put this on top of your other one. Look at this. You like it? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to put it, here's your little happy man. Okay. Eloheinu v'Eloheinu matenu kayem et hayela hazel la'avi v'tikrei shema v'Yisrael Totchan Yosef gadol tiyeh kishem yishin yiknaseh lebrit ken tikanes l'Torah l'chapa u'masim tovim. Our God and God of our ancestors, sustain this child for his father and his grandparents. Let him be called in Israel Totchan Yosef. And may this little one be big as he's entered into the covenant, so he may enter into a life of Torah, loving relationships, and good deeds. All right, Gunnar, last thing, okay? Here's your present. Mitzvah miss. Yeah, I know. That's your little present. And I'm going to give you a special blessing, Jessica. Okay, one last thing. In our community, we shower with sweetness, okay? So one of us needs to hold you for this one so you can get the full explosion of support and love. As we turn to our next slide and we sing Shehecheyanu, thanking God for being healthy enough to reach this moment in time. Let Daddy hold you, honey. You're gonna throw candy in you in a second. Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehecheyanu v'kimanu v'hiyanu l'smazeh. Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehecheyanu v'kimanu v'hiyanu l'smazeh. Okay, here it goes. All right, Bud, take what you want. Here, Rory. All right, take what you want. We're just going to leave these here because they're going to keep coming.
Take what you want, and I'm.
Yeah, I promise you, we're going to have like 3 more times of this. Yeah. All right, we'll continue on page 34 with the central prayer of our tradition, the Shema. It's all about this. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. We're on page 36. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol lebavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'otzecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'elem asher anochi metzavecha hayom levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitzecha uvlechtecha v'tzarech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha ikshartam li'otzayatecha v'hayu letotafod b'neinecha uktavtam amezuzah beitecha uv'yisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem ekol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim l'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem meretz Mitzrayim liot lachem l'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Mehmet, page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we are taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there's a better place, a promised land. The winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there, except by joining hands and marching together. Page 40. Before we continue with Hashkivenu, I always like to pause in this part because this prayer is all about finding wholeness in a place of darkness, acknowledging brokenness, and believing that there's a path to abundance in some way, even as all we see is scarcity. Well, that's the way I see this prayer. And so I always like to ask at this point, what did you not get to leave behind coming in? What is still dark in your mind? I'm not going to do that because you guys are a sharing group tonight, but also in the light of this of this beautiful naming and the beautiful women who will be joining our community. That right now to just sort of focus on the abundance is beautiful, and also some of you got to hear this, and I just want to tell the rest of you so we're on the same page. But Temple Shalom is part of the Sanctuary Coalition here in Cincinnati. We're a founding member of that. We're the only Jewish community for now. Hopefully there'll be more joining us soon, out of 22. And we help do lots of things as part of this. One is immigration advocacy. One is raising money for refugees. One is doing our underground drives for people who are in need and can't drive legally and need to get places. And some of them is just helping through the framework of what it means to be in sanctuary. And our community helped decorate the sanctuary space also. And so what Clifton United Methodist decided to do, that they're the ones who have one of the sanctuary apartments in town because we can't house it here, is to say, well, in the meantime, we'd like to host a family in need of asylum, that some of these families coming across the border have no person in the States that they can connect with that can sponsor them. And so Cincinnati said, well, our coalition will do it. And they'll live in this space, and we will do what we can. So a Congolese family, a father, a mother, a 7-year-old child, an 8-month-old baby, and a baby along the way arrived this Shabbat. They'll be arriving tomorrow morning. And we're the first shift. So we're taking on the Christmas season because our Christian brothers and sisters need to be in their holiday, and we got time. And I warned them. I was like, you tell the Jews what to bring for dinner. They're going to bring Chinese. They're going to bring too much. These people need clothes. They need a lot of things, but mostly they need welcome. And so we're honored to be part of that. And so there'll be emails going out. But I want to remind you of my postcards, that this is a time for advocacy in that way. And also, you might have seen these little green CDs that are out there. That is Just Love's, sort of our Justice Initiative's new CD, and I feel like every good revolution, every good moment in time needs its own soundtrack. And our community helps sponsor this one. So take one, take two. We'll be putting them on iTunes soon so you can share it in that way. But take that and take that in as our music that we helped create and bring into this world. So in that spirit, we continue with Hashkivenu on page 42, acknowledging that there's possibility even amongst the darkness. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom V'habitenu Shomreinu leChayim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom V'habitenu Shomreinu Shamru, page 44, rejoicing in the power of covenant and passing it from generation to generation. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. לעולם אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. We're going to continue with tefillah silently, so what that means, we'll rise on page 46 and begin it together, and then continue silently while you are reflecting your own prayer, and when you're done with your own prayer, just please be seated. So we'll begin together as we rise, page 46. Back one slide, Micah. Oh, nope, sorry. Adonai sefatai tita Elohia kitavi v'techa. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Continue on page 60. Shalom Rab Israel Amcha Tsim Le'olam. Shalom Rab Israel Amcha Tsim Le'olam. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Tov Benecha Levarech Et Amcha Yisrael Becho Eit Uvohosha Bishlomecha Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam. As we pray for abundant peace in the world, we know that wholeness is incomplete without healing. And so we look for healing in body, in mind, in spirit, knowing that each of us needs it in our own ways. We extend our hearts and our prayers out to those who are in nursing facilities, in hospital beds, in their own homes, those awaiting treatment and those beginning it, those in the middle of it, trying to figure out what's next. Prayers go out to all those suffering with difficult medical issues, seen and unseen, and the pain of psychological and emotional and spiritual issues, addiction, deep grief and difficult decisions, to the places that our country needs to heal, on our borders, in our own streets, in our world. The wholeness and healing that hopefully comes from love and possibility and peace. And of course, in these prayers, it's incomplete without thinking about those who bring healing into the world, doctors and nurses, therapists, counselors, family and friends, all of us working together for a more whole and healthy existence. If you'd like to mention someone's name out loud, your own name, or a place in the world that you believe needs our extended prayer and healing, please share those names now.
Dominic Watkins, Lisa Steele,
Bob Rubin, Paul Colback, Nancy Stella, Aaron Sessions.
Those leaving.
Arnold Applebaum, Joyce Applebaum, Leo Applebaum, Roberta Applebaum, Judy Avner, Mira Barner, Marcy Bine, Sheila Boniface, Chava Leah, Trisha Farver, Elaine Frankowski, Esther Sima, Jerry Goodwin, Dr. Merrill Goldman, Ethan Kadish, Gita Knudsen, Skylar Kuntz, Yael Kraus, Jan Kravitz, Lee Krinick, Elaine Heitfeld, Mel Hudson, Tony Janitas, Ira Lerner, Michael Ben Avraham Vissara, Lou Levy, Joan Lieb, Marcy Maxwell, Rhoda Meyer, Nancy Newmark, Phil Ryan, David Rose, Betty Roth, Bob Rubin, Aaron Ruder, Karen Schwartz, Iris Shum, Kathy Singh, Archbishop Chuck Smith, Lisa Steele, Mahaya Stoneman, Lou Strauss, Susie Warschauer, Ann White, Harold and Ukelson, Fran Victor, Chaim Ben Yaakov and Nechama. We include all those we mention out loud, those we carry in our hearts, and all of us in this room, as we're each on our journey towards wholeness and healing in some way. If you'd like to follow along with me, I'm on page 253. Misha berach avotenu v'imotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah v'yivarach et hacholim ha'eleh HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim Aleihem L'hach li'imam v'atam chazikam v'yishlach lahem maher refuah shlema min hashamayim refuat ha'nefesh refuat ha'guf Hashta b'galav b'zman kariv v'nomar take a few moments for prayers of the heart. I welcome Stephanie Ryan up to share some announcements.
It's like a landline up here. Okay. Hi, my name is Stephanie Ryan. I'm on the steering committee here at Temple Shalom, and these are the announcements. Supposed to read all of them?
It's just two.
Okay. Going places with Temple Shalom, Thursday, January 3rd, 19. Meet at 9 a.m. at Temple Shalom for coffee and light refreshments. The carpool leaves at 9:15 for the Skirball Museum at HUC for a docent-led tour of the J. Miles Wolfe photo exhibit depicting the Jewish Cincinnati from early 19th century to present day. RSVP very soon, no later than December 30th to Gail Zackham. Do you want me to announce her phone number?
No, it's good.
Okay.
They can read.
Then, seems like a privacy issue. Just Love is having a Just Laughs thing at Go Bananas. I'm looking forward to this because our very own John Bunyan is going to be getting up and entertaining us. That's an adult-only thing, right? Is it?
Yes,
It is.
Yes.
I'm very bad at these things, yeah.
Okay, so 21 and over, so it's depends on what you call adult. But I think we need a little laughter and a little light, so that would be fantastic. Do you want me to-
On the 8th.
January.
January 8th, 2019. I don't know what day it is. It might be a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday.
Do you want me to do the prayer for the community or save time? I'm just wrap it up.
No, be prayer for the community.
I'm going to offer a prayer for the community and say Mazel Tov to Gunnar. That was pretty fantastic. And to keep up,
rocking the
man.
Tiki
I
boat.
know. Okay. May Adonai, the source of life, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, Leah, bless this entire congregation of Temple Sholom, together with the synagogues in Cincinnati, and all holy congregations in this world. Bless our community, our children, our families, and all that is theirs, along with those who unite to establish synagogues for prayer, and those who enter them to pray, those who devote countless hours of their lives so that our synagogues may be a thriving place of spiritual welcoming. May the Holy One reward those who contribute to our community with healing, forgiveness, and personal strength. May God bless them by prospering all their worthy endeavors, as well as those of the entire people of Israel. And let us say, Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Marion. Thank you to Micah and to Dr. Bailey and to our Temple Sholom choir. And Larry, were you our usher? Who was our usher today? Yes, thank you for that. And thank you to the Merman family for sponsoring an extra special oneg for us. We always like to eat. And thank you to Maxine and to Jenny, who took extra time both yesterday and today to share their personal testimony and your continued activism in inspiring us the way that you do to take up on this work as your own personal, that many of us cannot do what you are doing, and we so appreciate that people like you exist in our community. So next, I'm going to welcome Sherry and Julie up. And we're going to do this. I've never done this before, but I mean, it's pretty amazing to have 3 names in a single night like this. And these 2 women had very different journeys to Judaism, and but chose this moment. I'm going to say this a little bit for you real quick. This one is Julie. This one is Sherry. And both of them found us through the Saturday morning minion, really, to found, and both of you, they were dividing very different journeys and different connections to God and different connections to Judaism, said the same thing, which was that here you felt home and accepted and welcomed and for who you were. So that's thanks to all of you. And in exchange, I don't think we even knew what it was like without you here. So for us, this thing. So we're going to do this together. We're going to do this joint thing, and we're just going to be relaxed about it. So come forward this way, a little closer. And you're not babies, but Heidi made you special ones too. Wait, first you got to see them. Ooh. If you don't have a Hebrew name yet, may this inspire you. Or Jane's going to get you and encourage you to do it. So you guys can, I don't know, you have to like fight over. So this one is just right here, like a little flower. Yeah, also have a different choice. So we're going to start with this part. And at the end, it's still going to end the same way. So, all right, well, I'm going to do Julie first. Can you switch this to the side? Okay. At this sacred and joyous moment, we renew the covenant at Sinai between God and the people Israel, recalling the words of the prophet Isaiah. Strangers shall join them and cleave to the house of Israel. Oh God, we thank you for your many blessings. We recall with reverence and gratitude all those descendants of Abraham and Sarah who have been faithful to you, and those who of their own choice have sought to serve you through the faith and people of Israel. O God, grant your loving favor to Julie, as in this holy place we formally welcome her into Jewish life. Knowing well the history of our martyrdom in years past, and knowing well what we face as a community in current day, Julie has chosen to join our people's faith, and we open our hearts to her. Strengthen Julie in her resolve. Help her to live in fidelity to the decision she has made and to the promise she is about to utter. May she always find satisfaction and joy in the fulfillment of your sacred mitzvot. Grant her many years of strength and happiness as a worthy member of our congregation. And we praise you, O God, in whose presence is the fullness of joy.
Of my own free will, I choose to enter the eternal covenant between God and the people of Israel. I choose to call myself a Jew from this point forward. I accept Judaism to the exclusions of all other faiths and practices. I promise to establish a Jewish home and participate actively in the Jewish community. I commit myself to the pursuit of the Torah and Jewish knowledge. I pray that in these ways I may continue to grow in my love of Judaism and find blessing in my decision to become one with the Jewish people. By joining the Jewish faith, may I add my willing heart and hands to our eternal task of being co-partners to perfect the world.
So you are known by the name as Julie Guilfoyle, a name you have carried your whole life, which means that you're linked in love in some way to those who brought life to you. But from this time forth, within the Jewish community, your name will be Neshama. And the name you chose is one that expresses our highest value, which is the purity of soul. That each one of us comes into the world pure, and it is up to us to reconnect to that natural goodness that we are made of. This is something you've already embodied, and now you have a name for it, and a name that we will know you by as someone who is tuned into the purity of self and the goodness of every human being. In times of darkness or pain, may you remind yourself that this was always part of you. It's in your blood, actually. And it's part of your story to find yourself back to love and back to the true path of a good person that you naturally are. May your Judaism always remind you of this. And in your preparation, you said that your favorite commandment in Judaism was Tikkun Olam, that you love the idea that it's our responsibility to repair the world, that we are instructed to look for opportunities in everything we do. We rejoice in you. We're so happy you're part of us. I'm going to do Sherry next, and then we'll do the end. Okay? God, we thank you for your many blessings. And we recall with reverence and gratitude all the descendants of Abraham and Sarah who have been faithful to you, and those who of their own choice have sought to serve you through the faith and people of Israel. O God, grant your loving favor to Sherry Stapleton as in this holy place we formally welcome her into Jewish life. Knowing well the history of our martyrdom in years past, and knowing the pains that we've experienced recently, still Sherry has chosen to join our people's faith, and we open our hearts to her. Strengthen Sherry in her resolve. Help her to live in fidelity to the decision she has made and to the promise she is about to utter. May she always find satisfaction and joy in the fulfillment of your sacred mitzvot. Grant her many years of strength and happiness as a worthy member of our congregation. And we praise you, O God, in whose presence is the fullness of joy.
Of my own free will, I choose to enter the eternal covenant between God and the people of Israel. I choose to call myself a Jew from this point forward. No, I can't really cry tears for a medical reason, but I'm crying in my heart right now. I accept Judaism to the exclusion of all other faiths and practices. I promise to establish a Jewish home and to participate actively in the Jewish community. I commit myself to the pursuit of Torah and Jewish knowledge. I pray that in these ways I may continue to grow in my love of Judaism and find blessing in my decision to become one with the Jewish people. By joining the Jewish faith, may I add my willing heart and hands of our eternal task of being God's co-partners to perfect the world.
You are known by the name of Sherry Stapleton, daughter of Sharon and Frank. And in this way, you are linked to the many paths that brought you to this place. But from this point forward in our community, you'll be known as Galit Ruth, someone who aspires as to be part of the wind in the world, and also to be part of someone who willingly takes on the task in front of her. You took your studies incredibly seriously, even though you knew from the beginning that this was your path, this is who you were. You studied an incredible amount, but also took yourself to Israel. It is in Israel that you first heard what happened in Pittsburgh, and your first inclination was to go to the Kotel, to the Western Wall, to connect to the oldest, most ancient, holy places in our tradition, that you were there, and you knew in that moment, even as our people were suffering and crying around the world, that you were in a place of wholeness and you were in the right place. And we embrace you for that, and how much you saw yourselves as one of us, and have always been one of us, and now it's just true in this way. So we're going to rise together as a community,
More candy.
All right, you're each going to stand this way. Okay.
That would be bad, right? Oh, I'm kind of in the way, I think.
Yeah, just. Standing before the commanding presence of the Torah, the Jewish people's most cherished treasure. It led us in the way and guided us ever since we received it at Sinai, and it's been carried during times of our greatest rejoicing, and when we fled from burning synagogues and villages. Placing these Torah in your arms, take it to your heart, as you each in your own turn recite the Shema with our people here. The words on the lips of every Jew until the moment of death, the affirmation that has sustained the Jewish people in life since our beginning. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Behold, I have given you a good doctrine, my Torah. Do not forsake it. It is a tree of life to those who hold it fast, and all who cling to it find happiness. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace. We rejoice in welcoming into our midst one who willingly and devotedly helps replenish the ranks of our people. It is a gift to the Temple Shalom community to call you family. And as our people have done throughout the ages, I ask God's blessing on you in these ancient words. Yirecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may God bless you and keep you. Yireh Adonai panav alecha v'chunecha, may God's light shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav alecha v'yasem lecha shalom. When God's light shines upon you, may you remember this moment. All these people waiting to throw candy at you. That there is joy and there's peace and there's wholeness and there's so much more to do. We're so thankful that you're part of it. Together as a community, we rejoice for granting us the ability to be alive, sustained, and brought to this joyous moment in time. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Ehyanu, V'higyanu, V'higyanu, Lazman ha'olam. Mazel We'll continue, as we're still standing, we'll continue right to Aleinu on 286. We're just going to do this reading and the last part of the Ne'emar. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and peace. Ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech ha'aretz v'yom ha'u v'yom ha'u v'yeh Adonai echad u'shemu 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 echad. Please be seated. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands, and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die. People do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. We mourn the recent passing of Warren Stone, the father of Dick Stone. the recent passing of Fran Barish, the sister-in-law of Richard Barish and Donna Barish. We mourn Ted Bader, a longtime community member of Temple Sholom and father of 6. And we mourn Homer Cox. We commemorate the yard sites, the anniversaries of the passing of Martin Snyderman, Norbert Silverman, Jacob Victor, Eric New, Catherine Tuchel, Edward C. Meyer, Yvonne Simkin, Rosamund Kolbach, Ruth Eskovitz, Toby Nehemias, Maurice Applebaum, David Chaikin, Jacqueline Schwartz. If you'd like to contribute to the list of people that we're remembering or repronounce the name, please do that. Share those names now. If you are mourning or commemorating a yard site, please rise first. We acknowledge you. We see you. We rise together in understanding of what it means to lose and still stand up each day committed to a life in front of us. As we continue with our words of affirmation on page 294. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei Rabba be'alma divrach yirete v'yanlich machute v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chaye tzachol be'Yisrael b'agalav v'zman kariv v'yimru Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach leolam umei umaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei Gedusha Le'ela mikol brechata v'shirata tishbechata v'nechemata ta'amiram v'ahama v'imrum Yehei shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'akol Yisrael v'imrum Osei shalom b'imromav Uyasei shalom aleinu v'akol Yisrael v'imrum Osei shalom b'imromav Shalom Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael, V'imru, Imru, Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael. Zichronan Livracha, may their memories be a blessing. And please be seated. We're going to conclude on page 336 at the bottom. And in the meantime, while you're finding a place, Gail, where are you going for Shul and Fuel?
Bob Evans on Pfeiffer Road.
Going big. So, so those who don't know, we do Shul, which is this, and then we fuel because Jews and food is a symbiotic relationship. So everyone's welcome. They go to a different restaurant every Friday night. Tonight it's Bob Evans. And you just go. It's really relaxed. Everyone's welcome. And you want anyone to let you know?
No, they have lots of room there. So
Plenty of room.
For almost everyone.
Great. So everyone should just go. Almost. We can take it over. It'll be good. So this is appropriate for all this rejoicing and beautiful new lights in our community, that this is the last line of the book of Esther, that the Jews enjoyed light and gladness, happiness and honor, and so may it be for us. Yehudim, hayta ora, v'simcha v'sason v'ikar. Yehudim, hayta ora, v'simcha v'sason v'ikar. Dear Lord, simcha v'sason v'kol. And as we conclude and go off to our motzi and our kiddush, to our wine and our bread, if you could connect to receive a blessing. If you're not a toucher, just say, I'm not a toucher. If you're online, just put your hands out, whatever feels like you can receive in this moment. Yabarachacha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom, shalom, v'yasem lecha shalom, shalom, v'yasem lecha shalom, 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 v'yasem lecha shalom, shalom, v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May Adonai's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And when God's face does shine upon you, remember that when people want to throw things at you, it could be candy. And that you may be gifted with the courage and the strength to do good in this world, to bring food to those in need, and to bring comfort to those who are lonely, because this world needs you and is happy that you are here and you are loved. Don't forget to get your CD and let us say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about it. It's like,